A very warm welcome to you to the beautiful Interlagos for the Sao Paulo Gran Premio, the Formula One Grand Prix of Brazil, and our predictions and previews of this weekend's action, coming up with the very latest of performance updates each week. Let's take a look at the starting grid for the sprint race. This is the first of our competitive sessions. It is Max Verstappen on pole with Charles Leclerc in second position. A very tantalising prospect as they head into the first corner. All McLaren second row and an all Mercedes third row. Looks like a poor day for Sainz and of course for Perez as well compared to their teammates, with Alonso in 9th and Gasly in 10th. Stroll and Ocon alternating Aston Martin and Alpine. Tsunoda, Albon, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Magnussen, Zhou, with Liam Lawson and Franco Colapinto towards the back of the grid. Well, there's a result for you. Max Verstappen winning the sprint, as you would absolutely expect now, with George Russell in second position, moving up ahead of Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton in fourth place, and Lando Norris down to fifth, with Carlos Sainz, Oscar Piastri and Sergio Perez picking up the final of those sprint points. Fernando Alonso just outside, all Alpine 10th and 11th together. Alexander Albon in 12th was a good result, wasn't it, as well? So very interesting, with it looks to be a retirement for Valtteri Bottas. And then we will go into having a look at the replay of the start of that sprint race. Okay, so we've got 5 lights on for the sprint race here. Let's see if there's racing room left in the first sequence of corners. A very typical cut across the racetrack there from Max Verstappen, just to dissuade a maneuver coming from Charles Leclerc as the drivers run through. This is Sainz against Piastri. Piastri coming out on top on the Estel Senna and through the Curva del Sol as we head down towards Descida do Lago for the first time, and there's an opportunity perhaps for Max Verstappen to defend, but nothing happening for Charles Leclerc. Looks like the Alpines just arguing and going through. That's a little glitch on the card that you'll see from one of my shorts elsewhere through Descida do Lago. A ghosted piece of debris or breaking marker board as they run through. The very quick lap here at Interlagos, so we're waiting to see then if the next run out of Yonsal gives an advantage to any of our following drivers. Anyone going into Bico di Pato and challenging? Not quite indeed. So it looks like heading through Magulo now and out of Yonsal for Verstappen and Leclerc. This is probably the best opportunity at full racing speed up the very, very long drag strip off the curved straightaway or flat out section, but it looks like down into the Curva 1, nothing doing for any of our drivers. A very sedate sprint race, it seems, heading down through the order. And again, let's have a look. One last opportunity then at the very start of our sprint race for a move. Here is the first run with DRS, and Charles Leclerc still a little shy to head forward, but you can bet your bottom dollar George Russell made the moves on the way through this sprint race. A quick look at the strategies. Soft tyres for everybody. Looks like the race actually finished in the very traditional rain here in Brazil. Full quali still to come. Welcome to Grand Prix race day here in Brazil, with sideways rain affecting the start of our Grand Prix. But first, let's check out how qualifying landed here with the starting grid for the Grand Prix. We see Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc on pole position and second position respectively, a 106.754 and an identical front row to the sprint race as we saw it. Norris in third and Sainz in fourth sets up a fantastic grid at the front, with Hamilton and Piastri, Perez in seventh and Alonso in eighth, and Gasly and Stroll ninth and 10th. Magnussen ahead of Albon, with Ocon and Bottas, with Zhou in 15th. Then comes Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, we've got Liam Lawson and Franco Colapinto at the back of the grid, with my teammate. It looks like George Russell will start with a penalty and will start at the back of the grid. As I said, a rainy start then for our Grand Prix, and it looks like the safety car up on jacks as well. I'm not quite sure how accurate that is. Well, not for the first time this season. We see the Red Bull mechanics celebrating, and by the look of the start grid, it was only going to be Max Verstappen on top. Gets a slap in the thigh and a congratulatory handshake from Lando Norris in third position, but it's Max Verstappen, the winner of the Brazilian Grand Prix, according to our predictions. If that is the case this weekend, wow, we are going to have an almost sealed championship situation. Here then is the roaring lion of the world champion Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc finishing where he started, and Lando Norris very similar as well. So the full results for the 2024 Grand Prix of Brazil. It's Max Verstappen on top with Charles Leclerc, and Max taking a maximum amount of points from the weekend as well. It's Charles Leclerc in second, it's Lando Norris in third. We then have George Russell and Lewis Hamilton making a British 3-4-5. Oscar Piastri in sixth, and Carlos Sainz down in seventh, with Sergio Perez the bottom of the top four teams. Fernando Alonso in ninth, and Pierre Gasly with Lance Stroll, Esteban Ocon and Magnussen down to 13th, with 14th place Albon, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Valtteri Bottas, Yuki Tsunoda, Zhou Guanyu in 19th. My teammate finishing ahead of Franco Colapinto, and of course myself at the back as ever. Well, it's a very interesting one. That was, of course, the fastest lap went to Max Verstappen and won 15.551 as well. But as far as our predictions and F1 24 are concerned, Max is going to go away from Brazil with a perfect maximum score. Let's take a look then at the start of the Grand Prix. Here we go then. 5 lights on in the wet conditions. Intermediate tyres on all the drivers, and again Max Verstappen cutting across the front of Charles Leclerc. Lando Norris trying to brave it around the outside of curve 1 on the worst side of the track, and they continue to go side by side, leaving a respectful racing room, it seems, at this stage. And there was even a car's width at the exit of the Curva del Sol. Side by side they will go in towards Desida del Lago, but Charles Leclerc just getting the nod ahead, and Sainz into fourth. That is Hamilton. There is your glitch on the exit of Desida del Lago, and no further major moves happening from the rest of the grid. Let's have a little look though, shall we, towards the back of the grid, and see if we can't see any particular action happening at the start. We don't tend to do this, but it looks like an absolute monster start from the second VCARB car. Let's have a look. Past one and alongside Yuki Tsunoda, taking it round the outside again. Yuki with a little nod into the second part of the Estosena. And then, of course, the second VCARB, driven this weekend by Lawson, not Ricciardo, of course, as they run up towards Desida del Lago. A nice little interplay there between the drivers, and a good start from our second VCARB driver. We've got Leclerc in second, ahead of Lando Norris, as they run through the slow, twisty section of this Interlagos Grand Prix circuit before we head up the hill and enable the DRS towards Desida del Lago for the second time of asking. That will be the situation, but I don't expect to see any major moves through the grid heading into this SA corner, or Bica de Pato, excuse me, heading down. That was a little move there from the Williams of Colapinto ahead of my teammate George Russell, still mired at the back of the grid, taking things very, very steadily indeed. Up the hill then we go, foot most definitely flat to the floor, even though we're on intermediate tyres. But Max Verstappen getting a really good start here. Rain lights on, that's not clipping, so rain lights on for the drivers. Heading into the Curva 1 for the first time at full speed we go. And no one feeling particularly brave at this stage. Brendon Leigh holding on against George Russell there right at the front of the grid. Here is the DRS opportunity if it were dry, but of course it's not. So running into Desida del Lago once again, no drivers taking any major risks in the wet conditions. So a quick look at the standings. Remember, this is the second half of the season only, And as far as our standings are concerned, it looks like only a 10-point difference at the top of the championship. Lando Norris down in 4th position. I'm not sure F124 has really given enough of a boost to the McLaren performance at this stage, but only 1 point between Sainz and Norris. Hamilton down in 7th, George Russell in 5th. I wonder if they will finish that way round at the end of the season overall. Let me know what surprised you most about our current second half of the season. We've got Scuderia Ferrari on top with 239. That does look like it's definitely true to form at the moment with regard to the real F1. We've got Red Bull in 2nd, McLaren in 3rd, and Mercedes in 4th of the best. Well, thanks for watching, folks. Please subscribe, and we will catch you on the next race day and race predictions day for this playlist.